Here is a Holmes dual window fan, model HAWF2021. This is the fan I use in the bathroom window, and we're having a problem with this fan. The fan on the right is locking up. So we're going to have to open this up for oiling, which is nothing short of a total pain in the rear because of these stupid clips they put on these things. They make it very difficult to open these up. So the first thing we got to do is get all these screws out of the back. A nice long bit to fit down in here. Some of these screws are getting kind of rusty because there's a lot of moisture in the bathroom. So this is always getting kind of wet. I don't know why that screw won't come out. Out. Whatever, it's gonna have to stay there. Okay, so now it's ready to open, but it's being held in by them stupid clips. So what we have to do is we got to get these clips off. Now this is an older van. These been sitting in the window for years, so they're all yellowed. And there's almost no chance of getting these off now because the plastic is brittle. I have a separate video that shows how to do this a little bit better, but I typically take 2 screwdrivers, I stick one under the front here. I can tell this is going to break because it's so brittle. I was able to get this off last year, a couple of years ago, but I don't think it's going to work this year. I have to kind of get one driver underneath here. I'm going to do it to this side. Yeah, it's just going to break. I'm not going to be able to get it off, I don't think, without it breaking. Doesn't really matter too much for the window in there because it's a small window. Yep, there we go. That broke. It's a stupid design. It's almost impossible to get them off without breaking. This one's already busted, so they just come right off now. Whatever. Oh, I missed a screw. Okay. Where for those clips would be fairly easy to get open. But no, you gotta have them stupid clips. Okay, so yeah, everything's kind of rusty in here. The back of these, the clips on here is all rusted out too. I'm not sure how much longer this fan's going to be running for, but I'm not going to get rid of it till it quits. Could last another 10 years, 15 years for all I know. So to get these blades off, we're just going to pull this clip up here like this, pull it off the blade, and the blade should just come off like that. Okay, the motor's all rusted out, but it's still running, so as long as it's going to run, it'll keep going with it. I don't even remember which side was bad. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do both of them while we're in here. The other one's going to go eventually. So, save myself the trouble of doing it again. Alright, so we got to take these old clips off of here. And then I'm going to undo these screws as well. Keep that washer with it. Okay, so now we can do what we gotta do here. It's not coming off. I'm gonna have to put these back on so I can turn them on. No, it's locked them. It's what happened is it's rusted up a little bit since last time, and now I can't pull the bearing off. No problem, I just gotta turn it on so we can sand it down. These washers are all going over the place now. I should have just preemptively sanded it knowing that we have a rust issue here. I don't know why I didn't do that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to screw this back in real quick. Daggone it. Well, sometimes that happens. Okay, now I'm going to turn the thing on, and I'm going to take some sandpaper and we're going to go along the shaft to clean the rust off of it so I can pull the bearing off. This is very important because if you force the bearing off over a rough surface, you'll scratch it, and then you're going to have some problems. Doesn't take much, that should be adequate. Of course, it also depends how old the fan is when it was last serviced. I had this open last year or the year before that, so I cleaned it up then. If you've never done this before, you could have a lot more rust on there than this one has. Alright, let's see if that's good enough. I think that should be adequate. That's what we want. I want that to slide right out real easily. Okay, so now we can lubricate this correctly. Okay, so we do have a little bit of dried up lubricant that's starting to form in there, so I'm going to grab some ticker towels and we're going to clean everything out here, and then we'll re-lubricate everything. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to clean off the shaft like this. And I'm going to clean off of these. There's 3 washers here. I'm going to take those off. I'm going to clean all in here, get this good and clean. I'm going to clean these 3 washers. There's 3 of them of different thicknesses. One is thicker and kind of rubbery. That one goes on first. And the other 2 are like a plasticky material. Those go on last. I think these 2 are the same, so it doesn't really matter which order they go on in. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on the back. It's the same setup with the washers, 3 washers, 2 different sizes. These aren't very dirty at all. I'm actually surprised this was having an issue. Okay, so now to relubricate, we have 2 oils we can use. We can use the 3-in-1 in a blue can, which is for Fians, or we can use the Zoom spout oil, which is specifically for the electric motors, which of course is what this is. So we're going to fill the bearings up with oil. Put a couple drops here on the inside here, and it's going to seep in through these crevices and go onto the wicking material underneath there. Okay, so we'll let that sit for a little while and soak in. We'll do the same thing here. That's absorbing a fair bit more oil. And while it's sitting, we'll move on to the next one. The washers already came off. Now this one is a fair bit dirtier. This must have been the one that wasn't running right. Okay. Now what I also wanted to do, and I kind of forgot to do on the other ones, I want to clean out inside the bearing as well. So I'm going to take a ticker towel and wrap it around a screwdriver a couple times, and I'll fish this through here to clean this out. Now this bearing is scored on the inside. I don't know if we'll be able to get a good picture of this on the camera or not, but this bearing was probably removed without the shaft being sanded properly. Let's see, you gonna be able to see it? Yeah, you kind of see it there. There's some scoring in there. That may be why this isn't running correctly. And about that, there's not much I can do. That's just going to be whatever it is. That could be why it's not working right though. That could very well be why. Alright, so now let's go back to the other bearings here. There's excess oil in here. I'm going to wipe out whatever excess is not getting absorbed. Okay, we'll put a couple drops around here on the other one. Okay, and we'll clean out the inside of these other ones. Okay. Let's put this motor back together. I don't think it matters which bearing goes on what side. Oh, it does matter. This one has threads in the holes there. That one's got to go on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to put a drop of oil or two on the shaft here and stick that in. Put a little bit of oil on here. And then we'll slide this on. And then we'll screw it back in. Okay, now we may have an alignment issue here. I'm going to put these other screws in as well, and then we'll check the alignment. Okay, so if the motor is stiff, which it is, I'm going to take a screwdriver and just smack the shaft a little bit. That should free it right up. I just got to move it around, push it in a little bit, and that frees it up and it's good to go. So we've got to put that little clip on there again. Kind of start it, and then I just tap it in with like edge of a wrench or something. And then the blade goes on with the front of it kind of facing the motor. And then this clip goes on, and then the extra hair in there. Okay. And if all is well, it should be spinning pretty freely, which it is. Okay, so that's working really good. Now let's get to the other one here. Wipe out the excess oil from this. It's got pretty dirty. Huh. Okay. So put this back together. Bearing with the threads on it goes on the bottom. Put a drop of oil on here. That was a bit too much. Oh well. And put another drop on here. And let's put this bearing on. And I'll put a little bit extra in there just for good measure, because I think this was the fan that was having a problem. Okay, now we'll put the screws in. Okay. And we'll get any excess oil off of here. It'll just accumulate dust over time. Oh, I forgot to put the little clip on there. Okay. It's running pretty good. All right. Good, let's put the cover back on. Okay. Okay, and these stupid clips, for whatever they're worth, even though they're busted, they still kind of hold it in place, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, even with the backs missing there, they work totally fine still. You know, I keep it out about that much for the bathroom window. That's all you need, and it's locked in place, so it's good to go. Alright, let's plug this in and see how it runs now. Beautiful. Both fans running at full power. Perfect. Yeah, it should spin down for a lot longer now too. Yeah, much better. Okay, so that's it. This is fixed. It's unfortunate how many of these things get tossed out every couple of years, because people run them and then they lock up and they just toss them out. I mean, it's not hard to fix it. This one is from 2007 and it's still kicking. I mean, it's kind of rusted out and whatever, but if it needs a little help every couple of years to keep running, then so be it. I mean, I don't know. It's just me. I'd rather fix something than toss it.